Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome back to another day of me pretending I am conducting an invisible orchestra. Part of where I am on my particular autism spectrum is I have always talked with my hands. It is a form of stimming to help me deal with things, so thumbs up on that. It is grayish and foggy-ish outside, but it's not raining. It has been raining for quite some time, but not today yet. And here, I have what I call the mischievous little cheesers, along with all of my regular stuffed animals. These are tiny stuffed dwarf hamsters, and I always forget to put them onto the shelves, so the mischievous little cheesers are hiding today. Front-loading your videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like, it'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome. If you could leave me any comments at all, that would be double plus good. And I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These are literally beautiful and literally awesome people who are, in fact, literally beautiful and literally awesome, helping to keep me and my aging pet alive. I appreciate that. I know my aging pet does as well. If you would like to become a Patreon patron and watch me scratch the side of my nose because it itches a lot, and help to keep me and my aging pet metabolizing, I have links in the video description to the Patreon. That'd be cool, as well as a PayPal for possible donations, an Amazon wishlist link with things like pet food, and of course a post office box where if you send me anything at all, and I only ask for postcards and keychains, I will show it off on video, and that will be awesome. Front loading of video is over. Thank you so much. Oh boy, I want to talk about some things and some things I can't talk about. What happened with the whole cryptid, the ethical cryptid tale, and the whole finally digging the dagger into the bone. It's been like a pain nuke that was dropped on the whole cryptid setting. Anytime I try to think about it, it generally rotates back to that and how much it hurts. So I haven't really been able to do much with the cryptid setting. I have to wait for the radiation to die down a little so I can start dealing with other things. So thumbs up on that. I'm trying to still be creative on other fronts of the settings, you know, the razor's edge and the whole inside and outside. Because once again, I mean, everybody on the razor's edge understands that they live, and on the inside as well, that they live on the bleeding edge of an untamable, unending frontier. That it is dangerous, and not awful, but dangerous, incredibly so. But at the same time, just like in our world, even though your odds of being eaten by something are pretty big, pretty good, larger animals aren't going to go chasing you down because the amount of calories they get out of eating you will not make up to the amount of calories they lose chasing you down. So bigger animals like that, unless you're close and they can quickly get a nab of protein, you're largely going to be okay, depending. If you're an individual out on the razor's edge, you can last for a while because it's just an individual. You're going to pass under the radar of a lot of creatures. The more individuals in a group, the more noise you make, the more attention you attract, the more dangerous it becomes, until of course you get enough of you, at which point it becomes safer because safety in numbers. And of course they are much more community minded on the razor's edge and on the inside, because if you're not there for the community is not there for you. And again, if the community is not there for you, you're gonna die because you're on the bleeding edge of an unending, untamable frontier. You have to survive every single day. The predators just have to win once. So if you don't fit in, you're not going to live. That's why there's not a whole bunch of crime stuff, because anybody that in their adult stage that would be a crime problem, you know, a bully or whatever, as they were growing up, that would have been seen. They would not have survived making it through teenage years. If you're not there for the community, The community is not there for you. So, thumbs up on that. But let me check on the other things here. Oh yes, I wanted to talk about this too. I showed off the Lunar Silver Star Story Complete 2, Lunar Eternal Blue. I also have shown I've got this box here. They don't have as much cool stuff in this, and again, it is just shabby as all heck. But the state of the product that I have doesn't... I'm not thrilled by the state of the things that I own. I like the fact that I just own something. So the fact that I have it is nice. I don't care that it's, shabby. But of course, there's the game, and I had to mix and match for parts of it because I was cleaning the disc from the original set and it snapped. So I had to buy a replacement. But another thing that, again, just like in the Lunar, oops, I dropped the other one, Lunar Eternal Blue, has a paper map. This one's got a nice cloth one that's been folded up inside of there for a very, very long time. And the book itself is another one of these thick hardback types with a lot of information. And this one actually has a functional bookmark. The other one's functional. It's just that it hasn't been made loose like this one has. So it's kind of cool. And I just wanted to show that. So thumbs up. Remember, it's okay to like stuff if you like stuff. There's nothing wrong with liking stuff. It's just that stuff is just stuff. Don't get overly attached to it. Especially if you have a prized collection of anything. The very moment that you are gone, your prized collection is going to be broken apart and sold piecemeal or thrown away or given to friends. It isn't going to survive. It's just stuff. As well, even though I want to continue doing more D100 Dungeon for a time to continue showing it off, I also plan on doing this game here, The Drifter. Now, one of my bits of sense of humor is I like pretending needlessly pedantic and pointlessly precise can strike me as intensely funny because, again, I have an absurdist sense of humor. So this is called The Drifter. And so I thought it would be funny if you have a character that goes, yeah, I'm a drifter. I'm a high plains well, I don't just go on high plains. I go on low plains too. I mean, I'm a high and low plains. There's a lot of other sort of ecological niches that I do. I am a multi-ecological systems drifter, and this is my story. It's like, it's needlessly pedantic and pointlessly precise because The Drifter with a picture of a cowboy tells you everything you need to know. Getting pointlessly precise and absurdly pedantic like that, what does it help to know that you are a multi-ecological system drifter? So, I'm going to be playing that game for the channel. It's all black and white. I can't afford color. I took a look at how much it would cost to print just the manual in color if I did it through the library, because there's no real printing services in town that I can find except for like a FedEx. So I got to see if they actually print. But it would have cost $92 to print that in color at the library. Sure, they give me 44. So thumbs up on that. There are lots of other games that I do want to play and show off. There have been just an explosion of games that have been going on. I've mentioned how there's a game called Into the Odd. I haven't read it, I don't know what it's like, but the game Knave is based on Into the Odd, and the game Maze Rats is based on Knave, which is based on Into the Odd. The game Cairn is based on Knave, which is based on Into the Odd. So it's good to be based on things so that you can have your own particular vision. One of the reasons I bring this up is these are all multi-person games. But of course they have all sorts of things, like there's the Mythic Game Emulator, which has come out with the 2nd edition updated stuff, so I gotta take a look at that. And it's basically a book on oracles and how to run a game for yourself without a game master, with a lot of its own systems to help. So thumbs up on that. But there are, with these games like Cairn, somebody came out with a supplement called Barrow Delver. And then for Knave, there's A Lonely Knave. Maze Rats has Maze Rat. And these are supplements so that you can play them on your own. Of course, once you really kind of get the point, you don't really need all of those supplements. Because, especially in the case of the three I just mentioned, they're not carbon copies of each other, but they are just variations on the same theme, telling you what you should be looking at, how to phrase your questions. Here's the oracle table for yes, no, and if you have an open question, here's a table to help you figure it out on your own. And they're just 2 pages for the solo supplements. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff I want to show off for the channel, as well as I have mentioned what I want to do is try showing off and creating first a sort of mishmash thing, like with Scarlet Heroes and White Box for System and Monsters, and then like Note Quest or, you know, the D100 World Builder for overland travel, and then Dungeon Generation, doing like the dungeon generation from D100 Dungeon, since that's really, really good, but not necessarily using that system because of Scarlet Heroes and White Box. Because they suggest, and there's all sorts of channels like Geek Gamers and other channels that are saying, hey, I'm going to be playing this game. And I'm using this, and this, and this, and this, and this to go with it. Because it's not just this, they're using this for the urban part, and this for the overland, and this for the combat, and this for the monsters, to make the thing you want to play, instead of whatever whoever wrote the book wants you to play. And that's kind of a big difference in focus. Even though Gary Gygax and David Arneson, who really got shafted by like Gary Gygax because it was like a 2-person team to make the game, and Gary Gygax got all the credit, and like the Dave Arneson fellow got like nothing. But one of the big things and the difference in focus is, up until like Wizards of the Coast got it, TSR and Gary Gygax was considered the gods of the system. If you weren't playing it the way Gary Gygax wrote it in the book, then you weren't playing it right. If you made homebrew stuff that changed Gary Gygax's system, you were playing it wrong. These days, especially ever since the open game license and all the new games coming out, one of the first things so many of them do is they open up and they say, this is your game. Here are some suggestions on how you can homebrew and add your own things. We suggest you play through it first just to get an idea, but then once you do, here's how to change it. And that's good. I like that. Let's see what else I have on here. Oh yes, I'm going to go on with, there's 2 things. One was Wizards of the Coast finally made a response to what's going on, and it is typical corporate doublespeak, except it seems like they didn't use a PR team. They gave it to like a middle manager, and it's not only corporate doublespeak, but it's also filled with sarcastic snark. It's not a good look. Especially when they're trying to say things like, oh, we weren't putting this out there as a full thing, it was out as just a draft. Well, how come with this draft you also sent out contract licenses and you were originally planning to give everyone 1 week to sign it? That's not a draft. And they were saying, no, we were putting this in here to give protections so that no one could steal your work. Then how come you had a direct clause that says everything you own belongs to us? You technically own it, but we can print it, sell it, do all this stuff, and you get nothing. No, it's not a good look. So, I'm hoping it sinks them. They are desperate now. Yay! I like the game. Dungeons and Dragons as a game is fine. Even though by the time I went into the Air Force, I was starting to play other games instead of Dungeons and Dragons, it was still my footstep. Yeah, that works. My footstep, my footstool, my first step on the ladder to get me into the world of role-playing. I've never had a problem with the game itself. I've had a problem with the company. I've had a problem with what they've done with the game. But the game itself is fine, and it's good. And if anyone wants to play just basic D&D, do so and enjoy yourself. But there's a whole wide world of other things out there. And with WOTC and Hasbro being the way they are, it's time to branch out and take a look. Because even though they've been walking it back, they've taken the big thing from the video game corporations and that you walk it forward 3 steps. And then in the midst of the firestorm, you walk it back 2. So in the end, you've still walked it forward to more terrible nature, but since everyone was expecting the nuke and radiation, when you bring it back to just Cold War instead of peacetime, everyone goes, wow. So yeah, it's awful. And then real quick, one thing, I both like and don't like the game Morkborg. I've never actually played it. I've just looked at it and heard people talking about it and watched videos about it. It has a punk aesthetic, which is kind of cool, but at the same time, I sort of just want to be able to read the rules, you know, without having to try and figure out what you're saying on the page. And at the same time, while the setting is kind of cool, I hate it at the same time. While you're playing the game Morkborg, whether you're playing it solo or whether you're playing with a game master in a group, there are something called the 7 miseries that occur. They're not exactly rare, but they don't happen a lot, because the entire setting of Morkborg is, of course, it's the end times. They're like the 7 basilisks that are going to, you know, rise up and destroy everything. The world is ending. The gods are dead. And each misery that occurs brings you closer to the end. And if you're in the middle of your campaign and the 7th misery comes up, it's game and campaign over. In fact, they even say in the book, the manual, it says, your game is over. Burn this book. It's all over. Everything you worked for, pointless. Of course, that's the point of the game, too, that it's kind of pointless. And yet, you're still striving, which I guess makes it kind of, hey, it's still human. Even in the face of it's all ending, you're still fighting. So that part's cool, but I don't know, at the same time, I don't really like that. So let me take a look at what else I have. Oh yes, just really quick. The last time that I ran out of my ADHD/depression medication, I had headaches because I had cold turkey off a med you're not supposed to cold turkey off of. I had headaches for a week that only went away when I got my med back. During that time, my time blindness and my ADHD got out of control. My headaches are gone. My time blindness has never gone away. It got bad when I ran out of the meds, and it's still bad. So, yay. It's blink, blink, blink. Feels like a day has passed, but it's 3 weeks, and that's time I don't get back. And I've opened up 24 hours with the comments on my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended, and even though I count American Sign Language, well. So we have Cake, thumbs up, thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated. Chris, thumbs up, thank you as well. Confused Owl 29. I've only seen and heard stuff. There's stuff that grows in the lower levels, and if you make too much noise on that, there's a warden that shows up to try and make sure you stay quiet for eternity. So yeah, I'm terrified of all the new stuff. JAYY, thumbs up, thank you, greatly appreciated, and I'm glad that you like this stuff so much. Oof 2000, greatly appreciated, and check out my reactions channel. I'm hoping to get back into reactions again here very soon. Jesse Koskinen, greatly appreciated, and yeah, it'd be nice if they ported all the games to everything. I don't know what they could do with the Switch, but you know, they should if they can, because Bloodborne is awesome. Even though once you take a look at the actual architecture and you start seeing there's like, you know, 5 or 6 levels of a hollowed out mountain, but then you realize that each level is only separated by like a 1 layer thick section of bricks. And it's like, no, that doesn't work. But still, it's good. And then we have HATR, thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. And I do play Bloodborne, but I've never gotten past Rom the Vacuous Spider. That is my choke point. SEIJI Henry, thumbs up, thank you, greatly appreciated. Mechani Dragon, thumbs up, and absolutely time to learn Pathfinder. And there is 77 Arcturus, thumbs up, thank you very, very much. And I love the Divinity series. I have Divine Divinity, I've got them all from the very beginning. I love the Divine Divinity. That was such a good game. And then we have Floramu, always good to see you in the comments, my friend, thumbs up. And then there is RJ Mitchell. Yeah, grinding that rusty dagger in the open wound. Pain makes the story more human. And then there is Fernando Zavaleta Bustos. I'm nowhere close, but thank you very, very much. And that is it. Actually, 13 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Greatly appreciated. You get me out of my head, into the world, and dealing with real people. If only for a short time, and if only a text. But it does appreciate it to no end. Well, hokey smokes, it's the weekend, so I'm going to continue taking it easy. Definitely a thumbs up on that. Hopefully you're going to be able to do whatever you would like to do. That would be a thumbs up as well. And of course, wherever you are, please take appropriate precautions for your situation. If people are getting sick, try wearing a mask. If people are getting hurt, don't go where that's happening. And if you're out walking and you hear the mournful howl of the bus horn, the bus with your name on it, all you can do is wait for impact, and hopefully it's actually going to hit the person next to you. I mean, sad that they're going to die, but hey, strangers die every day. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing.